Hey everyone, it's the start of a new week, it's the start of a new month. It's Monday, the 1st of September. We've got an action packed show for you today, so grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. First up, it's going to be football. Not only have we got the weekend's games to digest and dissect through, we've also got a transfer deadline day to line up, so it's going to be largely focused on our football. Let's kick off with the football updates. Just need to interrupt the show for 1 minute just to give you a polite reminder that our content is provided for education and entertainment purposes only. We don't offer financial advice, so if you do need financial advice, please speak to a financial advisor. Okay, back to the show. Okay, everyone, let's recap the fixtures from the weekend and the results from the Premier League. Starting with Saturday and the lunchtime kickoff between Chelsea and Fulham. Chelsea won 2-0 despite Fulham being denied what looked like a fair goal and caused quite a bit of controversy with VAR, and certainly the Fulham manager was not happy, Marco Silva. Moving into the next game, we've got Everton and Wolves, a high-scoring game, high-stakes game. Great goals in the game as well. 2 assists from Grealish, goal from Ndiaye, goal from Dewsbury Hall. Some great attacking play. Don't think anybody had a scoreline like that for the day. Cracking, entertaining game with some great football. Bournemouth then produced one of the shocks of the day with a 1-0 victory away against Tottenham. We shouldn't actually be surprised. Bournemouth were excellent last season, but because they lost a number of players, particularly from their defence over the summer, there was a slight concern that they would struggle. However, a gallant display and draw against Liverpool in the first game of the season, and now a victory against Tottenham. Are they, again, going to be a contender in a surprise package this season? Up there in the top half, maybe even competing for that European places and Champions League places? Tell me what you think. Tottenham, how are you feeling? Great result against City and now losing to Bournemouth. And it could have been more had it not been for Vicario in goal, pulling off some great saves. So it wasn't 1-0, might be a bit flattering. However, Tottenham did produce a bit of a fight back at the end, but it didn't yield a goal. Sunderland continue with their fantastic home form, another win at home for them. 2-1 victory against Brentford, a late goal from Isidore. Crowded off a fantastic week for him with the birth of his daughter. Man United, following that same trend with a last-minute penalty at Old Trafford, where we heard that before, came back from being level at 2-2 to then taking that last-minute Bruno Fernandes penalty. He put it away this time, celebrated with the Old Trafford crowd, and they got a much needed win, or more should I say for Almond, a much needed win, but continue to concede a number of goals through goalkeeper vulnerabilities. Will that be addressed during the transfer window? Leeds and Newcastle played out a stalemate. At the evening kickoff on Saturday, not much to be said there. It looks like there were chances at the end for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Maybe he just needs some game time and some time to get back into it before we see the best of him again. That concludes the games for Saturday. Okay, let's move on to Sunday's games. We had a surprising win, it must be said, for West Ham against Forest. 3-0. I think if you looked across the results from West Ham, Brighton and Palace and put a bet on those three winning, I think you'd have got some pretty healthy odds on those. West Ham, great result, relieving much needed pressure on Potter. He worked his magic against Forest away. Good result for them. West Ham fans, how are we feeling now? Fortunately, you're going into international break after such a good result. Is that going to help you reset, take that positivity into the start, or do you think it's come at the worst possible time? Forest fans, tell me what you're thinking. Poor result, or is that a byproduct of the challenge between the chairman and the manager? Known friction. There's been a lot of reports of replacement managers being talked about, such as Postecoglou, etc. What are you thinking? Are you gutted about the result? Do you think that's a byproduct of the manager, or is it just a one-off and you'll get back to winning ways once you've reset after the international break? What do you think? Moving on, Brighton and Man City. 2-1 defeat. We did call it, well, in the last game we said that Forest would win. We got that massively wrong, but I think most people would have, and those certainly who captain Chris Wood will have. Brighton against Man City, 2-1 Brighton. Both teams to score over 2.5 goals is what we tipped, but we did favour the Man City win. So not sure how you played that. Good game. Looks like Brighton deserved their win. Haaland got his goal for Man City, but a great fight back from Brighton, showing great character to come back and win there. Man City fans, how you feeling? Defeat to Tottenham, defeat to Brighton. Where we going here? How's the season going to play out? Bottom half of the table at the moment. Granted, it's only 3 games, very early on. You've got a lot of talent and new players in there. Is it just a case of bedding in, or do you think you're gonna struggle for Europe or certainly Champions League? How are you feeling? Brighton, reasons to be positive. You've got a good young manager there. Seems to be grinding results out. Set squad. How do you think your recruitment's gone? Do you think you'll be bringing players in today? It's transfer deadline day. What do you think? Let me know. Liverpool against Arsenal was the premium fixture at 4:30. How are we thinking there? Great result for Liverpool. Arguably a 6-pointer even this early in the season. It was a tight game, really. I expected more goals. Great defending from both teams, it's got to be said, and an absolute wonder free kick from Szoboszlai. Scored the goal for Liverpool and gave them ultimately the victory. Again, next game, final game, we're treated to an evening kick-off between Villa and Crystal Palace. Misery again for Emre. It wasn't a good evening. He failed again. Another game where he's not got the team playing well and getting the result. But against a very, very competitive, strong Crystal Palace team. They are flying at the moment. And I think they are definitely the team to watch. Glasner has really, really got them galvanised and playing well. The Eagles are soaring. 3-0 away at Villa. And that, I think they're unbeaten since April this year. I think that's a 13-game now unbeaten streak they're on. Something like that, which is phenomenal. FA Cup winners and also Charity Shield to boot puts them in a really strong position this season. And to the point where Glasner has been talked about potentially replacing the Man United manager, which is really high praise indeed for a manager. I think he should stay where he is. He's gone to a good thing with Palace. They've lost Eze though, they've lost Elise, they have recruited well, and they don't seem to be losing out as a result of losing those 2 stars. So very good results. Let's just have a quick look at the standings while we're here. Let's check out the table, have a look where we're at with that. I think that's going to tell us pretty much what we've been expecting, with Liverpool leading the charge when it does finally load. And then we'll see the teams that are in trouble. And again, I don't think there's any massive surprises based on what we've seen. If it decides to load today. Clearly the transfer market there we go. Clearly the transfer market is making the computer run really slow because it's grinding through the transfers. Liverpool, perfect record, 3 wins out of 3, looking very well, looking good. I'm going to make a correction. I did say that Bournemouth got a point away against Liverpool. They didn't. They were denied by a last-minute Salah winner. Got that wrong, I'm afraid. Excuse me there. So Liverpool, top of the league. Chelsea in second. Again, I think we all expected Chelsea to keep competing this season. Made some very good acquisitions again. Not sure about defensively though. Them losing Colwell will have been a blow. We'll see how that plays out over the course of the season. But to have scored 7 and only conceded 1 tells you a lot there as well. Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, all expected up there. Everton, while it is a surprise, Moyes is an excellent manager and a great bit of business for Everton to bring him back, and also getting Grealish. They are going to be up there this year. I'm not saying Champions League, I'm not saying Europa, I'm just saying that they are going to be competitive, definitely in that top 10, high, moving towards and competing in those international places. I definitely think they will in the European places. Sunderland, again, with their home form, Stadium of Light, an absolute fortress. Not a surprise to see them in 6th at all. I think they'll even up over the course of the season, but I actually think because of the recruitment, because of the manager and their crowd at home, I think they've got a chance of staying up, which is a massive task for promoted teams, as we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years. Moving down towards the bottom, Wolves, Villa and Fulham make up the bottom 3. Villa's a surprise, but they have got off to such a poor start this season. Newcastle, I think with the disruption, I think we'll see an end to that. today on transfer deadline day, I've got some news for you that's just breaking on the Newcastle front that I'll share with you very shortly. West Ham haven't got off to the best start, but at least they got those vital points on the board against Forest yesterday. City 13th, not what we expected, but still they've got an opportunity. It's only 3 games in, but still you'd be expecting them to be a bit higher. But considering the fixtures, maybe it's not a surprise. Okay, that wraps up our Premiership roundup. Let's just move on, quickly preview the Championship and have a look how that's going. Let's have a look at the results from the weekend. We're not going to go into too much detail here. We'll just pick out some of the key fixtures and then come back through. So Leicester got a good result against Birmingham on the Friday night late night game. The lunchtime kickoff saw West Brom win, QPR win, and Middlesbrough maintain their excellent record by beating Sheffield United at home. In the 3 o'clocks, Southampton, Watford got a draw, high scoring 2-2. Sheffield Wednesday got misery continued to be piled upon them, very much like Sheffield United at Middlesbrough, with Swansea, who've done the Sheffield double in the last few weeks. Portsmouth have beaten Preston. Surprise result, Coventry drew with Oxford in a high scoring 2-2 draw. Wrexham getting a fantastic result against Millwall. Derby and Ipswich 2-2. That seems to have been a regular fixture, doesn't it? 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Big gale scoring games in the Championship. It is such a competitive league, and anybody can beat anybody or certainly score against anybody on any day. The next game, 6-goal thriller in Bristol, 4-2 against Hull City. What a match that must have been. And Bristol have been scoring for fun. That opening day where they got a great result against Sheffield United, much to the surprise of many fans, including myself, but a great result for Bristol there. And Norwich beating Blackburn to put them in a good position now, heading into the international break. However, we do know that the Championship are playing next weekend with Sheffield United and Ipswich on Friday night. Let's quickly look at the standings and the table as it is right at this moment in time. We know notoriously the tables take a while to load because of all the data points refreshing, so let's just give it a second. I think we're going to see Middlesbrough's perfect record shining at the top. We then got West Brom doing very well up there with a near perfect record. 10 points from 4 games isn't bad going at all. Stoke going up there, not a surprise. Mark Robins, a fantastic manager. Leicester up there, which we all expected. Coventry up there, no surprise. Frank Lampard's doing wonders there. Bristol again, got a great manager in and are doing well. They finished last season really well and they're continuing that momentum into this season. Swansea up there as well, notable. Mixed for Birmingham and Norwich. You know they're going to come good. Same with Millwall, same with Southampton. They'll be competitive towards the end of the season. Disappointing for Sheffield United fans, seeing us bottom of the league, seeing Sheffield United bottom of the league. 4 straight defeats now. Ruben Sayers is in trouble. Let's just say that the recruitment's been good recently by the board. It's up to him now to put those talents together to start getting some points on the board. It surely cannot continue for much longer. Sheffield Wednesday, on the other hand, have shown a lot of fight. It pains me to say, have shown a lot of fight in the last few weeks and have done really, really well considering all the circumstances around their chairman, their players, their dodgy stadium that roof is falling in, etc., etc. But they've shown great fight, fair play to them, as much as it, as I say, pains me to say. Oxford down there, I think we all thought Oxford would struggle. They've got a very good manager, working on tight margins, but they remain competitive. Great draw for them away at Coventry. Derby, I think they'll step up. They've just announced the signing of Ben Brereton Diaz, which is a class signing. Him plus Brewster reunited from the days in Sheffield United as well. Okay, that's just a quick summary of the Championship. We will just very quickly look at League One and League Two to be comprehensive, but we will not labour on it too much. But do let me know, we've got League One and Two team fans here. Let me know, do you want me to do more deep dives into League 1 and 2? Am I doing you an injustice by just going quickly through the league? Let's just check it out. We've got Cardiff, no surprises there, right at the top of the tree. We all expected that. No change there. Stevenage, surprise package. So are Bradford and so are Doncaster, but Doncaster have brought in some great players. Barnsley we knew would consolidate and be good this season. Same with Huddersfield and Luton up there along with Stockport. I don't think there's actually many surprises. We knew that was a lot of momentum coming from League 2 into League 1. And we know that step up sometimes isn't that big. It's the next step that teams often challenge. Going from League 1 to the Championship is a huge, I'd say, chasm between the two. But it's great to see teams coming up from League 2 and that momentum continuing. Can they keep it up all season? Moving down to the bottom of the table, Peterborough have had a really tough start to the season. Surprising for some, they have lost a lot of good players though, and continue to. They've not really recruited very strongly, and so unfortunately they're at the bottom. So Pope Vale right down there. Wickham, no surprise, they've lost their star striker Kone. Went up, I think it was to QPR. He's gone, and therefore now they're struggling. We'll see if they can turn it around. Plymouth are on a downward momentum. They really struggled last season in the Championship. Showed a bit of fight towards the end of the season. They got rid of the manager. How often does that happen? You keep a team up, then you go. They brought Cleverly in. He didn't do great. I think he's being sacked, and they brought in a new manager. Not sure about that. Blackpool again, challenge, but look at their goal record. Great, both teams to score, but there, 7 goals scored, 13 conceded. Keep an eye on that one. And the rest of the table is as you've seen. Okay, let's move down and be complete. Let's do League 2 and just summarise that very quickly with the standings and look at where we are. Again, very early days of the season. You can't read too much into this. Teams are just finding their feet. But Gillingham have got off to a cracking start. Unbeaten in 6 games, 4 wins, 2 draws. Great start for them. Look very strong this season. Crew and MK Dons were the early pace setters, but recently have struggled. Crew losing the last 2. MK Dons lost the last game. Still going to be competitive. I think MK Dons have had quite a lot of funding this year, so I expect them to be up there. If not, I expect their manager to be under a bit of pressure. Salford always heavily invested, but never seem to get there. 10 points, still in the mix. There's only 4 points off the top, so they're right up there. Let's go down. Cheltenham and Shrewsbury struggling on equal results here. But yeah, unfortunately, still not able to. The last 5 have been mirror of each other, 4 losses and a draw, and stay rooted to the bottom. But again, very early days in the League 2 season. Okay, that concludes our league summary and fixtures for the weekend. Hope you've enjoyed it. Next part of the show will focus on transfers. Okay, let's start the transfer news going. Here we go. Monday, transfer deadline day, always really exciting. Let's go and see what Fabrizio is going to say. The man with the here we go. If we see here we go, it's a 95% deal done, probably said. What we got here, Brentford's new signing. Here we go. They're going to sign Reece Nelson on loan from Arsenal. Cracking signing. He was on loan last season at Fulham. Not sure he got the game time that he wanted, but a great result for him. AC Milan signing a new centre-back from Wolfsburg. Good signing for them. Looks solid. Man United finally got their new keeper. Looks like deal done to sign Lemons from the Belgian league. Belgian keeper. Good signing or not? Not sure about him. They were linked with Emi Martinez. Looks like Dibu Martinez deal has collapsed, and therefore they've got the new keeper though. Are we going to see outgoings now? Are we going to see Onana leave? €21 million deal done. Looks like plus add-ons for the Belgian I think he's a young goalkeeper up and coming. We'll see. Don't know much about him. Let me know in the comments if you do. Any good or not. Tottenham, Kolo Muani from PSG. Looks like a deal done, or certainly they've agreed personal terms. I don't know if we've got a here we go yet, but it looks like the doors are open about a loan deal for Spurs. New striker to maybe complement Solanke, who was injured some of last season and some of this season. So let's see if that comes to back up the exciting signings of Xabi Simons as well. Very exciting. Tottenham fans, what do we think? Are we impressed with that? Good signing. French international. Looks decent. Let's see. Nicholas Jackson. Looks like it was off. It was on. It was off. Now it's back on. Chelsea have recalled Mark Guiu from Sunderland, and it looks like Nicholas Jackson can now complete his deal to Bayern on loan with an option to buy until the end of the season. Looks like it's going to be a green light and he's going to Bayern. Jackson wants it. Will Chelsea let it happen? I suspect so. Ten Hag has been sacked. No more said. And here we go, Newcastle. This is the roundabout that we love on transfer day. Everybody getting their wishes complete. Isaac looks like he's gone to Liverpool. We'll report on that later. Visser looks like he is going and getting his request to go to Newcastle. So how do you think, Newcastle fans, how are you feeling? You've lost your superstar, but you've replaced with an up-and-coming German striker. It sounds like Voldemort. It's probably not. Voldemort has come from Stuttgart to Newcastle, and now you've got Johan Visser signed today. 55 million. Jadon Sancho, there was talk about him going to Spurs. It looks like Manchester United have got the man. Villa have got the man to arguably replace what Rashford was playing last season. So they've got Jadon Sancho. Looks like it's the loan. I suspect there's going to be an option to buy if they want to do that. So really interesting signing for Villa. Are they going to actually get the best out of Sancho? Manchester United couldn't. Chelsea couldn't. Could Emery work his magic and get Sancho firing on all cylinders like he did in Dortmund, ready for the World Cup next year? Great opportunity for him there. Great move for Villa. Good bit of business for Man U as well. I think it suits everybody all round. Okay, we've not seen this guy, Alexis Sanchez, for a while, but he's joined Seville as a free agent. Donnarumma to Manchester City. Look, we've been rumours about this for a while. Quite surprised that Paris Saint-Germain are going to let him go. His form was a bit dodgy. I've heard he's fallen out with people. The giant Italian keeper, still in his prime, looks like going to Man City. What I want to know is, would James Trafford have signed for City had he known that they were going to sign Donnarumma? City fans, what do we think? Burnley fans, what do we think? Do we think he's made a massive mistake, Trafford, in moving? Because he's probably going to play second fiddle now to Donnarumma, unless Donnarumma plays really, really poorly. But great signing for City. Will that help them with the recent form they've had? Will that help them turn it around? 2 losses in the last 2 games. Can Donnarumma help them turn their form around and make that big push towards the title this season? Antony leaving Manchester United, back to Betis, not on loan. He's actually going for a transfer fee of what looks like 25 million euros with a substantial 50% sell-on clause, which is really crucial. Hopefully help Man U recoup some of that initial 100 million layout that they made on Antony, who arguably has really, really not worked out at Manchester United. I think it's best for both parties and a great deal for Betis when you think they're getting a £100 million player for a quarter of that cost. Isaac is finally, the saga that lasted the summer is finally over. It looks like he is going to Liverpool for £130 million. Wow. Let's hold off for a second and get some reaction from our friends in Liverpool. How are you feeling, guys? Hi, lad. Hey, Isaac, Liverpool. Oh, mate, that's amazing. That's amazing. Clearly, the Liverpool fans are absolutely buzzing about the signing of Alexander Isak. What a signing for Liverpool. That is going to give them quite a formidable attack. Liverpool fans, where's he going to fit in? Like, you've already signed some quality players. Like, could this be the end of Salah? Could we see he's not been on the same form as it? I know it's early. I know it's very early this season. But what we're thinking, do we think that he's going to... where's he going to fit into the team? Let me know. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting how that goes. I mean, the comment here, I think it says brilliant. Trent didn't join the Galacticos. He left them. Very true. They are pulling some strong signings. Now that's exactly what Liverpool needed. Heineken coming in with a quality bants. Love it. They've obviously been on the Heineken and are on fire with their comments at the moment. Okay, next one we've got Openda leaving Leipzig to sign for Juventus. Fast signing, 40 million euro loan with easy activation to buy if they want him. Now, with Donnarumma leaving Man City, Edison is now looking like he's going to sign for Fenerbahce. So a bit of a switch round. Good signing for Fenerbahce. I think Edison's pretty unlucky. He's still not that old either, is he? So interesting. Yeah, it's a very good signing, I think, for Fenerbahce, who recently lost their manager. Ole Solskjaer is no longer at the wheel. He's left Fenerbahce, and now they've got a new keeper to complement, hopefully, what will be a new manager as well. So Sunderland again doing bits. Brian Brobbery, the highly rated Dutch striker, looks like he's going to sign for Sunderland in replacement, and I think that's a direct retaliation, if you will, for Chelsea recalling Gueye. They signed a very good striker, so they've taken a loan striker and bought somebody permanently. I think this kid's going to be a talent. He was really rated very highly. Play Football Manager, depending on what save you're on, is usually a pretty good player. Usually ends up at one of the top clubs. So great signing there for Sunderland. And again, Sunderland doing bits this market, aren't they? Wow. They have signed Gertrude. I'm not a football commentator, thank goodness. They've got an agreement for a loan fee with an option to buy. I think that's smart business. You can't keep piling loads of money in. 2.5 million loan fee with an option to buy. Basically, if they stay up and he does well, they'll probably activate it. Simple as that. Matt O'Reilly leaving Brighton to go and join his old manager at Olympique Marseille. De Zerbi is the manager at the moment at Marseille. They've not got off to the best start. He's gone from Brighton to there to get some season of experience. And just to follow up, Isak looks like he's there. The transfer saga of the summer, really, and it's finally come to a conclusion on deadline day, suiting all parties. I think that's what we need to see. Again, we talked about Sancho. Let me see. Okay, Mark Gay performed fantastically well against Villa and scored a goal. You can't argue, even if his head's turned. He's given 110% for Palace. Shows you a lot of the character of the man. If Liverpool get him with Van Dijk plus the signings they've made, I think I can't see anybody. The only team that I think are going to compete with them, maybe Arsenal, but Chelsea. But I think Liverpool, there's no excuse really with the signings they've made. Absolute quality signings this season. Their business has been brilliant. I don't think there's any there's any debate about that. Let's just keep going. Appender. Is there anything new? Result. Mark Gueye going back. We know about that. We talked about that. AC Milan signing Rabiot from Marseille. So it's the merry-go-round, isn't it? O'Reilly going to Marseille, Rabiot going to AC Milan. Interesting, used to play for Juventus, now moving to AC Milan. We've got Asensio joining Fenerbahce on a permanent deal. That, for me, was a bit of a shock. So Fenerbahce cooking. They've signed Asensio and they've signed Edison. Good bit of business there from Fenerbahce. We'll put them up there to compete with Galatasaray, who have signed Osimhen, from Napoli as well. So a lot of competition in Turkey this year. Be interesting to see how that plays out. So apparently there's a lot of talk about Nico Gonzalez. Interesting to see if he goes. It looks like, well, he could be going from Juventus to Atletico. We'll see how that plays out. Quickly scanning through those, there's quite a lot of other ones. Szoboszlai we talked about earlier. That's Dibu Martinez, Emi Martinez, whatever he's called, did not go to Man U. Let's just be clear, that deal is off, and Le Mans has signed for Man United. I think we're near the transfer roundup here now. So let's move to Sky Sports and look for the latest confirmed. So here we go, is a 95% done. More or less, it's there if Fabrizio says it. But if not, we go to Sky Sports to look at the absolute up-to-date minutes. So British record for Fiorglu for Isak, we talked about that earlier. Visser moving to Newcastle from Brentford, we talked about that. Donnarumma to Man City, Edison to Fenerbahce, Sene from Antwerp to Man United, we talked about. These are interesting ones. Villa, Jordan Sancho, we haven't seen Harvey Elliott yet. Is Harvey Elliott going to be a Villa player? Both signings will be very good, I think, for Villa. Palace looking to sign Igor Julio. Obviously, that's clearly going to be a replacement for Mark Gay if he goes. So we need to keep an eye on that business, how that goes. Interesting, AC Milan have gone in for Joe Gomez, which is really interesting. We'll see how that goes. And we talked about Briery and Gertruda, Brobbery and Gertruda earlier for Sunderland. Great signings, both Dutch internationals as well. Interesting that they've both joined Sunderland on transfer deadline day. Let's have a look at some more stuff. Ajax looking to, so Casper Dolberg, lots of talk of him doing very well for Anderlecht. He's obviously on the radar now of some big clubs, so Celtic and Ajax looking at him. We talked about Reece Nelson looking like it's very closely going to happen, if it's more or less not done already, to Brentford. Yeah, we talked about Villa in advanced talks. Hincapié, Arsenal, I thought that was a done deal. Not sure whether that's happened. It looks like it's happened. Viner from Bristol City, looking very much like he's got a lot of interest from the newly promoted big spending Wrexham and Birmingham. Wrexham, interestingly, have spent more this transfer window than Inter Milan. Can you believe that? Just shows the strength of investment that's coming into English football, which is fantastic to see, but also quite worrying. A new winger, looks like a new winger's coming to Southampton. Hackney, I think he's gone or going to, is it Southampton? Looks like Hayden Hackney might be going. Yang is Celtic winger, looks like he's moving to Birmingham. Let's have a look. There was a lot of talk actually about Conor Gallagher moving back to Crystal Palace. Are we going to see that happen today? Vardy, this has got to be one of the surprise signings. I think no one expected that. Signing for Cremonese in Italy. Jamie Vardy going there. Kamara has left Portsmouth by mutual consent. Don't know where that leaves him. Is he going to another club? What's happening there? We can scroll down. Leicester looking to sign Jordan James from Wrexham. Kolo Muani, we talked about that earlier. I think there was strong interest with him going to Juventus, but it looks like Tottenham have actually stole the march, and it looks like that's going to happen now. And I think that concludes where we are with the latest transfer news. I will produce a full roundup in tomorrow's episode, so we'll go through every transfer, or as many as we can get through in the time we've got that have happened, but they're the latest confirmed transfers and rumours for today. Thanks very much for watching this part of the show. Right, we'll move on to the crypto update next. Okay everyone, let's start with our update on crypto today. But before we do, let me know about the transfer news. Did you guys get who you wanted? How's it going to play out? We've still got a long way to go on a very exciting day. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you got the man? Liverpool fans, I bet you're buzzing. Newcastle fans, I bet you're buzzing. How's everyone else feeling? Man U fans, you're happy about getting new keeper. Same with Man City. Anything that City does, Man U have done a copy, haven't they? Or vice versa. Very interesting transfer rumours that we're seeing today. I'm expecting a bit more. Villa, you've started to pick up. What's going to happen there? Let me know in the comments what you think about those transfers. Some breaking news, well, about half an hour ago actually, Alex Matos completed his signing for Sheffield United from Chelsea. Chelsea relieving their wage bill and player numbers down. One gone, one in at Sheffield United to add some much needed midfield stability. Alex Matos to Chelsea, from Chelsea to Sheffield United. Here we go, transfer done and confirmed by the club. Okay, let's move in to crypto now and fully turn our focus to the markets. Market cap down today slightly, and that's reflective in the prices. If we scroll up and down the top 10 down to the top 50, we can see that with the exception of Bitcoin, some stable coins and some state tokens down the 100, it's all very similar. The markets are red. We did see some positive price action this morning. It's been very much fluctuating, very volatile, which is in keeping with what we kind of expect on a Monday morning, and especially with it being Rectember is the famous note for September that it isn't the best month for investors. It's very tricky. I think until we get that Fed judgment on call on the rate cut or not, I think there's going to be a lot of tension and a lot of up and downs because of that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the course of this week. Bitcoin slightly up. It didn't make the 110, but it did stay above 102. So I think that gives us, I think that's pretty much in a consolidation phase. I think we're going to see a lot of sideways movement for now. And I think until we see some either massive news coming in, we're gonna bounce sideways basically until we see some change in the macro or something happening that's just gonna spark hopefully this bull run. That's what we're waiting for. Really bring it to life, bring altcoin season to life, but we're just not seeing it yet. We've had the trade off to Ethereum and lots of whales dumping at the moment, which is you could say manipulating the price, but we'll see what happens. But there is a lot of token dumps happening for Bitcoin, some into Ethereum and some profit taking, and the whales are definitely waking up. Those wallets are waking up. The dust is being shaken off them, and now they're trading. So let's see what happens there. Just going to pick out some notable changes. Sol dropping below $200. Is that a dip opportunity? For those who are interested, Sui and Cardano are two. Chainlink are two that we're watching this year. They've been strong performers, down quite a bit. I think under $3. Sui's looking pretty sexy, and Chainlink under 20. Again, looking really attractive. Potentially, if we are to get that last leg of the bullwhip. Hyperliquid seems to be quite up. It's not suffered that much. It's very strong performance-wise at the moment, but that's because their tokenomics are burning to keep the liquidity strong, keep it in a strong position, and I think we're seeing that through the price. Certainly are. Scrolling down, there's one that I wanted to pick up actually that's just been launched today, and it's already got quite a following. So there's a new coin that's been launched by World Liberty Finance. Look at Story, that was up nearly 30%. It's down a little bit. That's actually an interesting one that I read about yesterday. We reported on it yesterday, said it was a good play, and said to be wary that not to buy into it, but it was our pick yesterday from a really shocking weak market. Story's digital IP on the blockchain for storing IP information. It's quite an interesting one, so one to keep an eye on. Again, not financial advice, not something that I've bought into at the moment, but I am keeping a close eye on it. We've got Pudgy Penguins again. Meme coins, just like you take your chance, but that one's got really quite interesting NFT projects as well. So if that takes off again, that could be an interesting play. Let's keep looking down, see what we've got, and that's everything today. So yeah, pretty much what we expect to see. No real surprises there, is there? You can see Xmatic Poll. I think there's a big thing happening on the 4th of September actually for Poll or Matic. That's going to see them change from Matic to Poll, and I think there's going to be, obviously on that news there was a big price bump a week ago when I think it got announced, and I think we're seeing the volatility from that. Could still go up though, so interesting one to keep an eye on. As we scroll down, one that I really wanted to show, but I can't see it now. Oh, here we go. World Liberty Finance. This is one that's just been launched today, backed by Trump. So it's obviously, you're going to see a lot happening around that. 20 cents, 28 cents at the moment. Could be an interesting one to keep an eye on that. It's either going to wreck people or make people a lot of money. 1% in the last hour. Be interesting to get a refresh on that and just see. I might refresh it in a second just to see if that price has changed in the last hour. There's sort of things you need to keep an eye on that are happening in the markets. Let's have a look where Trump coin is. I just thought that was that would have been on here somewhere. I think it's a bit higher than that, but maybe it's not. Trump coin was one that I'm expecting to pump because, like Doge, you've got Trump coin. Anything that impacts those guys like Elon Musk or Trump, you're going to see their tokens rise. So let's have a look. Yep, you can see on the trending coins, we've got Trump official up 4.8% in a market that's going down. Obviously shows that people are backing that coin as a result, and a hedge with the World Liberty Finance. Because he's all over that, so is this coin, and you can see that pumping. Solana down, as I said. Dolomite that we covered was massively up yesterday. It dips by nearly 20% today. That happens. Not a surprise, and it was always going to be a risky play with that one. Top gainers, no idea what these are. Clash of Airport, I'm assuming it's a meme or a gaming token. Unstable coin, gotta be meme, but great name, love it. So they're the top, they were trending coins and our top gainers at the moment. today. You can also see that, let's have a look at the fire categories, the ones that are really getting searched for a lot. We've got Politify, no surprise there with Trump. I think that's becoming quite the politics are obviously driving it. I'm surprised there's not a Jerome coin being brought out. Might be something to look at on pump.fun there. Smart contract platform, the layer ones are becoming the next generation, aren't they? Once Bitcoin, we rotate from Bitcoin, it's used into Ethereum, Solana, ADA, all those ones, Sui, Aptos, we'll see, Avalanche, we'll see those progress, and then who knows where from there, who knows where. And you can see World Liberty Financial portfolio, again, I think that's something to really keep an eye on. Let's give it a quick refresh, let's see what's happened with that one. Again, really interested to see how that goes today. Not financial advice, not looking at that. We'll see what happens with that as the day progresses and as things move on. So look what Trump down in the last hour, but was definitely showing strength a little bit ago. But I wonder if it's a bit of a sell the news now. It's been released, people have rotated from the Trump coin, sold that out, and are now focusing to look at this new coin that's been released by World Liberty Finance. Can I find it? So now what if in doubt, use the search. Oh no, hold on a minute, let's have a look at top gainers. Told you, it's hit already and it's up 15% in the last hour. Honestly, that is just going to keep booming. I'm telling you now, I think it'll rocket up to £1 today, maybe even higher. It's going to be interesting. Keep an eye on that one. All right, let's go and look at crypto bubbles. Let's see what's happening here. We'll just give this a quick refresh. What's going on in the world of crypto bubbles? We can see that World Liberty Finance and Trump are up there. Pump.fun's up there, which I expect. Filecoin doing pretty well. And I don't know what that is. What's this? Memeco. So the meme coins again, ruining everything. So this is a day. Let's have a look at the last hour. Look at that. That's pumped up. Form's down. Trump's down. World Liberty Finance down in the last hour. But I'm telling you now, we'll see what happens with that. I think it's gonna explode. Over the course of the week, we've got Crow. I said 75%, massive IP story. Up there 32%, what we talked about yesterday. Let's keep an eye on this. We'll keep watching this. We'll have up tomorrow. See with these if we've seen some momentum shifting now and seeing how the breaks go. But yeah, not a surprise to see a lot of red. It's Monday, and it's September, so I think this is going to be a recurring theme. But don't panic. Don't panic. These are nothing for a bull market. We can sometimes see 30% corrections. It just shakes out those that aren't up for it. Fear and greed index. Let's have a quick check of that. As it's red, no surprise to see it being fear. We're not in fear, but we are on that continual move down. Look, from 55 to 47, 48, dipping around neutral, now dipping the toes into fear. We'll see what happens. There's another update happening in the next 12 hours, so we'll check that again tomorrow. But no surprise that is at 46. And I think we're gonna leave it at that for the crypto show today, just simply because we focused a lot on football. And over the course of the week, we'll flick from the focus being on football to moving back into crypto, because I think we've got some important announcements happening this week. But again, more to follow. We'll probably have a transfer show tomorrow, and then after that we'll switch our attention to the crypto game, because we've got international break and that's less interesting than the crypto market is. So we'll keep flitting between the two and having a deep focus on the areas where we've got proper news to follow. So thanks for your time today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned something, and it's been quite entertaining. Looking forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.